work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for like it or not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for like it or not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life-ish. I live in life in the ATL. Benjamin, yeah, that's my man. He's always coming up with the master plan. Politics, scheming, or trying to find the meaning of life. And while the feds keeps us in strife. I'm your DJ. I really don't need no introduction right now, but you know what? I stay dropping them jams. Y'all know who I am. Good hope, dad jokes, culture-ish, politics. What you're hearing right now was the culmination of all of this. I started out with the mic in my hand, then I graduated to a plethora of fans. I love bringing joy to the people. It makes me feel great, makes me feel regal. I do what I do for you. 8 p.m. Friday, you know how we do. Let's go. It's time for like it or not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. It's time for like it or not. With Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Let's start this damn show. Let's go.
Like it or not starts now.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Like It or Not, where we're free to tell the truth.
And not care who doesn't like it.
Sorry, y'all. I had a speed. My hair looking. I ain't bald headed.
And
it's
you're
just,
low.
Okay.
Sorry, back.
You said you're not bald headed, but you what?
No, it's just the light in the background. When it shines on this side, it make it look like ain't no hair, but it's hair. Sorry, y'all. It's just, you know.
Oh, that's a hair wrap. Oh, a hair wrap. So I thought it was like your hair was like twisted up into like something. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure what it was either, James. I was just going along with it.
I have another one back here. Look, I was trying to throw something on, y'all. That's what you see here. Okay. That's what you're going to get today. Is the best I can give y'all. So, but how y'all doing this morning? How we doing? We here. Look, y'all play too much. This is why I can't do nothing with the children. Okay. This is why, first of all.
It's you. You set it up so good. You expect me to laugh when you set it up to laugh.
So, anywho, I want you guys to do something for me right now. Carry on. I'm going to go get something that I forgot. And carry on right now. I'll be right back. Right back.
Jay. I don't know what you're going to do with her. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. It's been a good morning so far. I've just been, I don't know, like the little pre-show leading up to it is really fun this morning. I had a really great time, dude.
I watched most of it, man. I wanted to throw tomatoes at you. I was like, it can seem like a maternity.
It seemed like a maternity.
And it tickled you so much. I couldn't help but laugh myself. And I'm like, was I laughing because it was genuinely funny, or am I laughing because James is laughing so hard? But when you said maternity, it made me laugh. I didn't.
Rebecca, I don't know if you heard it, but 9 months isn't that long, but to some it's a maternity.
I heard it. I did. It's cracking y'all up. But it was a good joke.
I don't know why it had me so tickled.
It was a good joke.
Oh, good Lord. Rebecca, how is... Oh, she's reaching for something.
No, sorry. My hair is bothering me. I'm like, should I just put it in a ponytail? I think I'm going to do a ponytail. Be right back. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
And David takes her down so quick. I can never get David to take me down that goddamn quick.
Oh, man. Oh.
Oh my god.
You kept playing the Taraji. They really went crazy over that Taraji P. Henson clip.
Yeah, like for
imagine
real, dude.
The people who want 2025, Project 2025, they're mad at her for putting it out there the way she did. Oh, she's back, Queen.
Absolutely. There we go. Because it just was given, and I'm not a bald-headed girl, and we're functioning with this bob now. So that piece right there that was giving see-through, it just, no, ma'am. No, it was killing me. Now, here we go. I like this better. All right. We're going to rock with this a little bit better. It's accentuating my jawline. We have the earrings, and yeah. Okay. Whew.
Give him the shoulder. Give him the shoulder.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, you know, clavicle is covered by this nice Hey Arnold t-shirt cutout. We're back, baby. Welcome to Like It or Not, but we're free to tell the truth.
And literally not caring. Literally. You have to take all your commentary. They should do it like this, do it like that, and just keep. We're gonna do it the way we want to do it.
Now, you guys were mentioning before I stepped in and was vain about myself, and I apologize about that. You guys were talking about Project 2025, what that is. Taraji P. Henson actually discussed it on BET Awards. Yeah, the BET Awards show, which we can discuss about that monstrosity later. But the messaging that she put out there was, I think, very important, especially to that audience, because we know what artists who were at that award show have pushed out almost as an endorsement for Donald Trump and the right and their plans for the future, which is 2025. So a lot of the people, what Taraji was essentially saying is make sure you got, now I know everyone who's watching in our audience and things of that sort has heard of Project 2025 or has heard somebody mention Project 2025. But there are a couple of things that are within it. It's literally a Google. It's literally a website, and it's called project2025.org. Guys, it's an actual thing. Project 2025, if you can bring that up for us, David, .org. It's an actual thing, and it has a lot of plans on there for what Republicans led by Donald Trump will have plans on doing, especially if that is the if
they get it passed. Listen, their plan is within the first 180 days that dropped, and there it is on the screen. But I also dropped a link with a quick one sheet that we should share with the audience. And actually, there's two of them that I got off of Twitter that really outline what they want to do. I mean, they obviously want to get rid of abortion and woman's right to choose, but they're also going after in vitro fertilization. They're going after the Department of Education. They want to completely do away with the Department of Education. They want to get rid of the administrative state. They want to get rid of all of the structures that protect and make the system work. And then they also, the thing that I think gets past a lot of people, Rebecca, is that they want to fundamentally do away with and transform the Department of Justice and the FBI. And sometimes that gets black people to say, oh, yeah, well, good. We need to get rid of the FBI anyway. No, the portion of the FBI and the Department of Justice that they want to do away with in Project 2025 is the Civil Rights Division. The part of the Department of Justice and the FBI that actually serve black people currently. So, I mean, there's a whole lot to it. And you have it's on your screen there, but I just want to say that.
Yep. There's a couple of things that I think people need to understand. This is not a joke. I know it sounds like it, but it's all key fun and games until it hits our fans. And so many times has these moments hit our fans. And this is why I say we got to stay ready so we don't have to get ready. And I just feel like, and it's so crazy. I don't know if it's your mic, Bubba, but it's so clear and I can hear you breathing.
Oh, his mic.
Your spit. You sipping on your drink, and I need it to stop.
James, wait a minute.
Every little thing. It sounds like a really great mic, but if you were to fart right now, I would hear it.
It'd be like Donald Trump. It would be like Trump at the debate.
I don't know what it is.
Hey, man, listen.
Rebecca,
I love you. I love you for that, Rebecca, because I was going to say, man, I hear every sip of his tea.
It's like,
oh my God!
It was giving that. Like
It was giving up everybody.
Now I gotta hold my damn breath.
No,
every breath.
It's the audio. I want to know.
It's a good
something.
microphone. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's something.
Okay,
But I'm gonna
put good money on it. Then
I'm gonna read a couple of things about while we get the really crisp mic that. When you have to sip or anything, just mute. It's killing me. But I love you so much. It's just like we can hear every drop that goes back and that didn't make it into the
every breath you take.
Okay, please, buddy, just do that for me so I can get through this. No, but here are a couple of the plans for Trump's second term, and that's under Project 2025, and that's when Republicans want to make sure that the transition goes into Donald Trump, putting Medicare on the path to privatization, and this is a few. There's so much things to discuss about surrounding Project 2025, but here is some that are off the top of the dome, but in my phone. Medicare on the path of privatization. All right, Ben. Privatization. Repeal President Biden's Medicare drug price negotiation program. Of course, this is right here is going to be threatened Medicaid coverage for hundreds and thousands of Americans. So that's on the medical side of it. He wants to reverse the Biden administration's student debt relief efforts. So the people, we already ain't really get it. We signed the paper,
right,
and we didn't get it. But some people I know actually got their student loans cleared. Yes, they definitely did. But the plan, they want to reverse the efforts and the plans that he keeps putting into place, and we keep signing these papers and hoping that God give us 5% off somewhere with that. But they want to reverse that because they believe that we have to what was it they said, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps because their parents were somebody's parent was working at the corner in their neighborhood. What was it, Laura Ingraham, when she said her parents was working at the local like their local Waffle House adjacent, and was working hard there. She said she was working hard there so that she can get her daughter through school. Every penny that my mama had to work with, she was working at Nathan's Hot Dog.
Girl, and you went deep.
Yes.
You went deep into your bag. Laura Ingraham talking about her mother who helped pay her way through law school. Yes.
And said that she was upset that when people were going to get their student loans paid off.
But
my mom, see how your mom was able to get enough money to work those hours to get you through law school? My mom wouldn't have ever been able to do that because every dime and dollar that she got paid that had to be possibly under the table because she wasn't even a citizen yet at the time. And then when she was, they paid her close to dust to probably what your mom got paid. And women in general here got paid nothing. So I can't imagine. So yeah, every dollar that my mom got paid had to go into making sure that we had a roof over our head. So nothing could have been dispersed out there to put me through school. I had to take out loans while in school going to a state college. That just pissed me off. They want to gut the federal workforce and install loyalists by making tens of thousands of civil servants fireable at Trump's will.
Okay, so Rebecca, let me jump in on that one. Right there is so important because what they want to do is make positions that are normally not appointed by the president. Their careers, their people, civil servants who are not political positions, but you get those jobs through taking tests, qualifying, and you get positioned, right? Because you get placement and you get promotion. They want to make all of those positions subject to Donald Trump's firing. He could just go through and fire tens of thousands of people in the administrative state. That's the people who pull the levers, who make sure that the government runs, who make sure that the checks are written, who make sure that the military is paid, who make sure that the roads are working, right? These are people who really do functionable tasks. They want to be able to get rid of all of them and let Donald Trump appoint flunkies, people who would do whatever he says. If they get that thing done right there, what you just read, that's the end of the United States of America, because the people who make the government run won't be qualified. They'll just be Make America Great Again.
And what do we have on our screen here? Looks like we have
Emily Galvin Almanza.
Okay, and this is the breakdown of what are the few things also. See, there's so many breakdowns of what's happening, layman's terms. If y'all like to be wordy with it, that's available online. If y'all want to see it in your face and actually read, they have a pamphlet, almost like with the on the website. They have something where it's like a book where it's like it says mandate for leadership, right? Let me read you. It's under policy on Project 2025.
It's on the website.
Mm-hmm. It's called Policy Agenda under the first tab. This book is an invitation for you, the reader, Mr. Smith, Miss Smith, and Miss Smith, because there's only three titles they can name you, to come to Washington to support those who can. It's giving me instructions. Right. Our goal is to assemble an army. Hey. This is on their website. Project 2025's what I'm saying to you is not, this is really on the website. Our goal says, quote, our goal is to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work on day one to deconstruct the administrative state.
Period.
They said that's the little summary. The book is a product of more than 400 scholars, allegedly, and policy experts from across the conservative movement and around the country. Contributors include former elected officials, world-renowned economists, and veterans from 4 presidential administrations. This is an agenda prepared by, they want to make you understand, this is an agenda prepared by and for conservatives who will be ready on, and they keep capitalizing day one. That's what they're going to call it. Day one of the next administration to save our country. The Heritage Foundation is once again facilitating this work, but as our dozens of partners and hundreds of authors will attest, this book is the work of the entire conservative movement. This is what it says next. The next conservative president will enter office. They're making this a promise. They said the next conservative president will enter office on January 20th, 2025, with a simple choice: greatness or failure. It will be a daunting test, but no more so than every other generation of Americans has faced and passed. The Conservative Promise, the book, represents the best effort of the conservative movement in 2023 and the next conservative president's last opportunity to save our republic. Y'all, I just want to go back up to this one. Our goal is to assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work on day one to deconstruct the administrative state. I don't know why I keep getting flashbacks to the Capitol. Keep getting flashbacks to how they assembled their army on that day in the name of Donald Trump's. I keep getting flashbacks of when Donald Trump got upset that we were removing monuments that were racist, that gave us reminders of a terrible history, that reminded us of what they thought of us, the lands that they took from other people, not only us, indigenous people. Those are what those monuments reminded us of. People who took these lands, people who considered Black people to be nothing, yet fought right next to them. And those bodies that were Black never were probably claimed. And the rest of them got to either go home to their family, got to knock on the door. They want us, every time I go up and I go running at these different mountains here in Georgia, constantly I have to be reminded by
Stone Mountain,
Kennesaw Mountain. They have big Kennesaw and they have little Kennesaw. And somebody went running there, found, if you guys go in the back by the bathrooms, when you get to Kennesaw, they have that little area you go in. You go in and they'll have the shoe. Let me tell you, I'm going to take a picture of it next time I go because I'm there often. They have a running shoe that says the different types of shoes that have walked here. They got that white New Balance, the one that the little the white dads be wearing. They got that. They said, this is the shoe now. And they went down to what the Confederates used to wear, right? That little boot, that little black boot. And then they went down to like a moccasin, like a shoe that indigenous people wore. I said, I would love for them to say how it changed from this one to this one. They were saying like, this is the land. Yeah, because so I say all that to say, it's racist everywhere we go. We took down those monuments because they did genocide in these places, right? We are not. They looked at Black people. They held Black people as slaves. They had us fighting for free, like nothing. We got nothing for none of it after blood, sweat, and tears. And we wanted it down. Not in the year of our Lord, in that time, 2018, 2016, whatever it was, we were like, no more. Take these monuments down. Rename those schools. And because Donald Trump said, no, these are people that we should be keeping up. This is what America is about. All this other stuff, which is lies, lies, and more lies. People took to the streets with tiki torches in the name of Donald Trump and supporting him because of statements like this one. Our goal is to assemble an army of, we've seen an army of people take the streets more than God knows what, to the point where they attacked what is supposed to be a safe space for our state representatives, whether they are on the right or on the left. They attacked something, the Capitol, y'all, the capital of America, the Capitol. They attacked it. They took away emergency buttons from underneath your representative's desk. They defecated out of disrespect to our representatives, left blood behind, stole computers with an intelligence on there. And all in the name of Donald Trump. Those were the armies. Those were the even vetted people went there with their zip ties, stuff that they probably done before or been trained to do. They got together for what they thought was going to be a revolutionary battle about them that they magically won. The transition is supposed to go to Donald Trump. And this is basically what they're preparing themselves for just in case, y'all. So we have to look at this. Now, that is what they're saying to read up on. It's almost like a Bible for me, instructions that they're giving to these people to get ready just in case the transition does not happen.
Yep.
And then if it does, for them to stick to whatever this is saying. And that's just on page 1. The next tab is talking about personnel, right? And you can submit, these are the positions that they're talking about where Donald Trump can fire you. You can submit your resume to be on the personnel database for to work in the presidential administration. It's on there for Project 2020. You, your friends, your people, all this, the KKK folks, all them, these are who they're trying to recruit, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The next one is the training. Y'all, there's an academy. There's a school for working with the administration. There's going to be a way they want you to be. Does that sound about white? Does that sound about Hitler? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a playbook where they give you 100, like you said, Ben, the first 180 days, you don't divert from the plan. You follow this. You follow it. And they got press releases. They got everything. They've already planned this out while people were online discussing Sexy Red and her comments.
We're still not ready for this, Rebecca. Like, and I hear everything that you just said, and I appreciate you contextualizing it, David. That last link, and then I know David want to jump in before he got to run off. But we're so unprepared. What you just said really kind of just messes me up. We talking about Sexy Red's comments. We got Waka Flocka out here at his concert telling everybody who's a Joe Biden supporter they got to leave, right? Mm-hmm. And the truth of the matter is this Project 2025 is coming after Black folks as much as it's coming after anybody, any group. Everything that they want to tear down is something that the Black community is just struggling to hang on to the little bit we got, right? They're trying to destroy public schools. They're trying to destroy public education any way they can. And who's that going to hurt? That's going to hurt us. But what are we doing right now? Because we're so distracted. We talking about Sexy Red.
And the funny thing is, we have to mention Sexy Red but we can't stay there. We got to mention Sexy Red because she's problematic, because her audience is that young group of people who don't understand that they got rights, but to really look into, hey, what are my options, right? They're looking at Sexy Red, say, Donald Trump gave me money. He's taking folks out of jail, but she's not able to say anybody near her or her community that he's done that for. The discourse around Sexy Red has to lead back into Project 2025, is what I'm saying. We can't just focus on just, Sexy Red, she at the same BET Awards, beloveds. At the same BET Awards, beloveds, was Sexy Red doing the play off of what she did maybe last month, where she brought out the hat where it was like "Make America Sexy Again." It was giving the MAGA, but the only reason why we said it was MAGA was because she sat on a couch and told people how she wanted Trump back in office to a white man, and said because he gave money. So for her to follow up with "Make America Sexy Again" and then go and on the BET Awards and put Sexy Red for president, playing off of how people were like, oh, Sexy Red's MAGA. They brought her onto that stage, while the same stage that Taraji is over here trying to push for people to literally go and educate themselves about Project 2025. The messaging has to, in this day and age, you got to choose. If BET is going to follow through with somebody who is putting out information and platform these people who are not helping the cause for Black people, you got to get them out of the way. I got to
step away, but I just want to, you may be off this by the time I get back. I just want to note two things. First of all, with the Supreme Court immunity decision, which I know you're going to get to, Becca, that compounds issues because it doesn't give power, but it gives immunity. So he or she, whoever the president is, can step out of the lines of what we consider legal into the illegal, as long as they have yes men or women around them.
That's right.
It's either them stopping themselves or the people around them stopping themselves. If both of those things are crossed off, it's a done deal. That's one. The second thing is, this is not the first time it's happened. This is just significantly more extreme. You'll see a lot of things going around saying Project 2025 or the mandate for leadership, which is what this really is, by the Heritage Foundation, has been being put out for 80 years. It's been put out for 43 years, and the very first one was implemented by Ronald Reagan. How did Ronald Reagan implement it? Because Congress issued a presidential reorganization authority allowing Reagan to restructure the federal government.
Similar to what we're hearing,
which is exactly so. No, the president can't just say, "I want to shut down the Department of Education." Although with Supreme Court's decision, he very well could go ahead and do that and have people listen to him, even though it's illegal.
Right.
If he gets a majority in Congress, though, he doesn't have to worry about immunity, because Congress can go ahead and give him the authority
to shut it down,
to do it all, so that it's not even in question, and then everything starts getting implemented. So it's all bad. What Reagan did has shaped the past 50 years. Not 50 years, 40 years, but still it's shaped decades, and it's nowhere near as extreme as what this version of their plan is. All right, I'm going to step away real quick.
All right, so that was our producer, guys. He wanted to make sure he put his 2 cents in, but that's a very, very, very positive thing, because we're gonna get into this what SCOTUS did, because it plays into everything that Donald Trump is trying to say. And I do understand that while it may have happened before, the fact that it's going on today and we're more I feel like more radicalized and the open. It's not like a secret radicalization anymore, or extremists aren't secretive with their racism or their prejudice, or their marginalization of marginalized people, pushing us into corners or outside of things that we worked hundreds of years to overcome, not only by the color of our skin, our genders, and all these type of things. They already started to successfully undo the work. So imagine right now, in this time, what that's going to look like as they begin to push forth Project 2025. When it say this is not like if we treat it like it's a Project 25, instead of saying take a look at what Project 25 includes or what their plans are. The reason why I say that is because Donald Trump is using words like rallying up folks and basically the same thing that we saw already done. They are open now because it's been done so many times under Donald Trump's administration. They're open now with just putting that out there, and those should be words to be afraid of. And I say that because there's a video of a pastor, a Black pastor, and his name is, and I'm going to drop that link to see if you can pick that up for me, Ben. But he's a Black pastor, and his name is Mark Robinson. Do you know about him?
Yeah. What was the is it a recent clip?
And this Project 2025 covered. It's a recent clip. And I have it saved actually. And I want you guys to see what he's saying to a sea of white people in a church. And let me this moment right here.
We talking about kill them, huh?
Yo, yeah. So you found it?
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Please.
And
so
that tight blue shirt he had on.
Yeah. I don't know. I never heard of him, but he is a Black, I think, evangelical pastor, political. Yes. And he stated basically the same thing that this is saying, basically, or to me, what I'm reading. Because when I say assemble an army of aligned, vetted, trained, and prepared conservatives to go to work, to deconstruct the administrative state, that's anything but conservative, right? So, and we know conservatives already are people leaders like the George Kemp over here. What's his first name? Whatever it is, Kemp.
Brian Kemp.
I gave him every white name. Brian Kemp. And then you have Ronaldo DeSantis out there in Florida. What they've undid, how they basically have people who are they're scaring people. They're doing a different version of voter suppression. They're coming to your house with the feds, with people, with the police officers. They also are removing Black books from schools. They want to remove certain information, which they already have started to do. They said they no longer want diversity programs within their colleges because it makes white folks feel like they're not included in a predominantly white school out in Florida. The undoing these programs that were put in place just so that Black people can have a chance or an opportunity to get things, to get education, to get jobs, to get a step in, move forward movement, to get that house, to get something. But they want to remove it because white people are feeling offended because they are diversity programs, which is so funny because our diversity programs still get less than 1% of any of the funding. Right now, we're watching the Fearless Fund be removed because white people said they don't want this funding for small Black businesses. It's not fair that they get to have funding. We get less than, I think, 1% of the funding.
Yeah.
And here it is that it made it all the way to Supreme Court, and they're still fighting it right now. Look it up. But here is Mark Robinson, an evangelical conservative, I want to say pastor.
He's a pastor. He's also running for governor, I believe, in North Carolina.
Wow. And so here's his talking points where he says to kill him, right? And to the whistleblowing right now in the name of conservatives. Let's take a listen.
Time when we used to meet evil on the battlefield, and guess what we did to it? We killed it. We didn't quibble about it. We didn't argue about it. We didn't fight about it. We killed it. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, what did we do? We flew to Japan. And we killed the Japanese Army and Navy. We didn't even quibble about it. I didn't start this fight, you did. You wanted to be left alone, you should have left me alone. We didn't argue and capitulate and talk about, well, maybe we shouldn't fight the Nazis that hard. No, they're bad. Kill them. Some liberal somewhere is going to say that sounds awful. Too bad.
In church.
Get mad at me if you want to. Some folks need killing.
And
time for somebody to say it. It's not a matter of vengeance. It's not a matter of being mean or spiteful. It's a matter of necessity. We have wicked people doing wicked things, torturing and murdering and raping. It's time to call out those guys in green and go have them handled. Or those boys in blue and have them go handle it. We need to start handling our business again because, guys, what I said at the beginning about you getting in your cars, listening to your radio, putting on what you want to put on, and saying what you want to put on, keep thinking about it. Don't you feel it slipping away? Don't you feel it slipping away? The further away we get from the concept of 1776 and why we declared our independence and how we declared our independence, the further we start sliding into making 1776 a distant memory.
1776, the same 1776 that his ancestors, because he seems to have American heritage, but 1776 when his ancestors were slaves. That's 1776 he's talking about in front of a whole bunch of white folks looking at him like, oh yeah, because you would have been the hard ER. Yes, muscle. Yes, muscle. Now look at you over there shucking and jiving at a white church, talking about killing people and fear mongering for the white people, that we're the problem, that the boys in blue, police officers, and that police officers in the military need to go ahead and start doing what? Killing us. We know when protests happen that they bring in military machines and armor and guns at peaceful protest.
Tanks in city streets in order. Did y'all hear that, man?
Did y'all?
That's recent. This is all part of Project 2025.
Like,
go ahead, James. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just about to say, even the vernacular part of it, if like his tone and intonation gives that rural ass white Christian nationalist, how he's talking. It's just like you're trying to sound just like them to prove your point. And at first I'm like, damn, the man looked kind of good, but then he just messed that all up. Sometimes you like him thick, Rebecca.
I was like, well, James might like that tight shirt. I said that man didn't take that tight behind that shirt.
It didn't give a thing but racism. Okay,
it gave full. After he started talking, it gave full racism. After that, I just lost all that traction.
He didn't give anything but shucking and jiving. He didn't give anything but literally getting his freaking. He was cooning. I hate to say it. I know they're gonna, but that's what that was.
Dangerous. It was a dangerous level of cooning where he's giving them permission to kill. He's using the pulpit to give people who have a history of killing permission to kill again. And I can't stress this enough, y'all. Like this is like red alert. These people intend on killing people. And you know who they're going to start with? They're going to start with immigrants.
Yep.
And then they're going to go to the LGBTQIA community because this is the same preacher, the same churches that's been talking about killing the gay community, right? And they're going to come right to black folks. They might do black folks all the way along the way while he's talking about it. And so what he's saying and what he's amping up is violence against the black community. That's exactly what
please be clear about that, because we know when they say something about the boys in blue, we know historically here, if we can just go more recent, because we can say historically, we can go back centuries, right? And the police officers and black people. But I want to go back to just a few years back. Let's go back to when Donald Trump was in office. The influx of boys in blue, police officers, and the murders, abuse of power when it came to Black people and how police officers were getting away with it. We would watch hoping that we would get some justice happening with these reckless people who are supposed to be protecting us, but who are out there killing. And this conversation that Mr. Robinson is having to these white people is saying that they need to continue with the behavior that was especially what we saw under Donald Trump. Okay? Them boys in blue can walk out any day and start shooting up people just because they felt like it.
That's right.
While those mass murderers are walking around shooting folks, and what the police officers are saying, they have a bad day, they're going to say that the police officer had a bad day. We'll remove him from this city and put this same police officer with this same heart and racist mind to go into the next city and possibly do the same thing. All or most of the people that we've known, these police officers that they try to cover up and stuff, historically have had something on their record that tells us that they should not be the people who are there to preserve and protect us.
The other thing that's like a real clear right now danger is that in many cities, you have two different things that's happening. One, you have the local sheriff's officers and offices and sheriffs, the chief in charge. They are aligning with MAGA, and they're aligning publicly and very, we always knew they were MAGA, but now they have associations that are pledging their allegiance to MAGA. That's a real threat. But here's where it gets even dicier for us. They're deputizing regular old white dudes in these cities who haven't gone even through the basic police training, who haven't gone through police academy, who haven't gone through any sheriff's training. They're getting deputized so that they can handle the immigration problem. So I want you to hear this real quick. What happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was because local authorities deputized a bunch of random white dudes that gave them the power to run through our towns with guns and to shoot people and to kill people. That's how Tulsa happened. I think it was some 200 people that were deputized in Tulsa that led to the race massacre. Just in California, in one city in California alone, they deputized 500 white folks who have been deputized to be officers of the law, but they haven't been trained. They don't answer. Like, who do they answer to? And so when Mark Robinson is out here saying, kill people, and we got police agencies who are taking Jimmy off the street and making him a deputy.
Okay.
We got some problems ahead.
We really do problems ahead. And especially look how they're hearing this come from Massa's favorite slave. And so while they're listening to this, they're saying, if he says it, if he's from the inside and he's Black, then we have to protect our country music. He said the most lamest stuff, that they're thinking that those rights are going to be taken away from them. The right of them sitting in the car, listen to what they want to listen to and be who they want to be. Their freedoms is what he's talking about. Those gun rights, right? All of these things, their Second Amendment, all this stuff that they're going to talk about, their rights are being taken away from them. I want to know where their rights are being taken away from them. I really would love to know, specifically because it looks as all the undoing is our rights being taken away from us.
Come on.
But this fear mongering is going to lead them as this angry pack. Those people in Palm Beach that have been waiting up for 4 years every single day. They get up and they hold that Donald Trump presidency sign there for 4 years every single day. They're going to wait until that day one comes.
Yes.
And they have already been training for this day. For this time, they already have people just like them aligned. Who we saw, those buses being funded, those Facebook pages not being taken down, all of those people are a threat and they can't wait to do it again.
That's right.
There was some form of immunity for they behinds, because we should have seen more jailing. As quick as they can find Black people for whatever reason, we should have seen the same thing for these people. No fly list. Now being removed, they can go back to flying. They can go back to their jobs. They can live in their communities. Let's be honest. Donald Trump went in, took a mugshot, and with his friends, his conservative friends, and said that was a revolutionary movement because they were after him for his. They didn't want for his rights. They were trying to take those away from him. Meanwhile, we can business-wise, because even in his presidency, he's taking rights away from us. But he left behind blueprints for governors and local leaders as well who are conservative. And we see how that plays a part in different states. Okay? So I can rant about this all day, but Project 2025 is no joke. We're right now talking about the people that are pushing it. They're pushing it in the church. They're pushing it in the schools. I've just seen where a school has literally under our noses. I think it's somewhere in Oklahoma or it's one of those states where they have changed over and they're forcing these students, I believe, to read the Bible, study the Bible, or is it a prayer they have to say every day?
Yeah.
And what about the kids that are not able to get education elsewhere, who don't believe in Christianity, who have to go to those schools and are being forced this religion in the form of, to me, a racist, like a racist manner, because if it's coming off evangelical or the person that's trying to force this law is a part of that, which is conservative, we know it's going to come off with an agenda. They're almost like they're ripping out the pages that talk about rebellion for these kids that in the school.
Yeah. No, man, like it is Oklahoma, and it's the Bible and the Ten Commandments. And the thing is, Rebecca, is that they have pushed themselves, and they're doing it quickly because they have to do it quickly before people really realize what's happening. And they're pushing themselves into not caring that they're students who don't believe in Jesus, who have to go to these schools. In fact, they're going to find and look for those people. Oh, what do you mean you don't believe? You're not a Christian? Then you can't go to this school. Then you can't get this, or you're going to get arrested. We are really talking about a breed of people who think that if you don't serve their very specific white Jesus, that you don't deserve to live. If you don't be gay in this new world, you don't deserve to live. Don't be a woman in this new world and have a mind of your own. You don't deserve to live. Don't be a black person that does not coon the way Mark Robinson does. You don't deserve to live. And so when you talk about like, do they care? What about these kids who don't serve Jesus and have to now go to Oklahoma schools and learn about the Bible and what? They not only do they not care, they are looking at that individual as a problem. You don't believe in Jesus, so you're a problem, and we got to fix you.
Yep. We're going to undo. We're going to, and this is a part of the Project 2025. Make all of these schools like take away the rights, give it more of that dictatorship across the board. One look, one sound, one mind. I ain't talking about the FAMU ban. I ain't talking about the FAMU ban. We're talking Marching 100. We're talking about what they are literally doing in a Hitler manner. They want to.
Yeah, we in trouble around here, man. We need help, Lord.
You right? We're hearing it. We're hearing it. And when I'm saying it out loud, I'm telling you, this is not a joke. The things that I've read to you, these are facts. The things that I stated to you happened under Donald Trump's presidency before. The day that he lost, he told the people that he didn't, and they believed him. And they thought that their rights will be being taken away. And we sat here and watched them from our households storm, break into, remove security buttons, defecate on tables, take actual laptops with intelligence information on there, threaten, bring weapons too. Where were the tankers then? Where was the military presence then? Where?
And now, like you said, that new army that they're getting ready to send up there on day one is the army that will take apart the administration, the bureaucracy, the thing that makes the government work, right? It's not the politicians. The politicians would make government fail. But the people who are up there, who are pulling the levers, who are pushing the buttons, who are writing the checks, who are writing the memos, who are servicing, who are doing the day-to-day tasks, the bean counters, the accountants, all those people, that's what they're sending up there. First it was January 6th. The next one is a January 6th full of people who are going to get in positions and dismantle and tear apart and make sure that the federal government can never help anybody ever again.
Mm-hmm. They're going to try to celebrate this year, January 6th, as a holiday, right? That's going to be their Juneteenth, right? And then they're going to go into January 20th. This is why we should be afraid. They want us to literally, they are telling us it's going to be a problem if the transition is not going conservative and if the transition is not Donald Trump, presidential transition. They're telling us it's going to be a problem. And they're telling us it's still going to be a problem when he does, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a unified look. There's going to be a unified ruling. There's how people should act, where they should go, where they are accepted, where they're not accepted. It's going to be a lot of division as there was before. And the work that we did, do you think that we're not trying to kumbaya hold hands. This is not what that is. We're just trying to make sure we make it to another day without keeping our head down. We're tired of that. But now we're going to have to be teaching our children where not to go again. We were already teaching them that. Now we're really going to, you can't say that. You can't wear that. You can't say that. You can't eat that. You can't move like that. You can't look this person in the eye. You can't do none of it. You can't park near them. None of it. You can't play with their kids. None of it. Yet those people who feel like their rights are being taken away from them, those conservatives, they can do all the things because they'll get a pat on the back. They'll be told, they'll be Kyle Rittenhouse.
Come on.
They'll
Come
be
on.
Dylan Roof. This is who they'll be. Get a burger for your
They literally celebrate Kyle Rittenhouse with big bright lights and big stages and pyrotechnic explosions, and they bring him out like a hero. That's who they are deputizing in these neighborhoods to come and be able to go door to door and tell you what to do. See, now we got a fight on our hands.
Yep.
A real fight.
No, we have a huge fight on the hands. And before I get into what the Supreme Court, ruled with Donald Trump and the immunity, listen, y'all, before we remove ourselves from this conversation, I think we might bring it in and tie it back together, but we got what we got. If y'all wanted to push any other party months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, you would have done it. Right now, we just got as Biden said himself, he is the Democratic candidate for president.
Yeah.
And then we have the Republican, who's Donald Trump. This is a fact. It's not something that's made up. So don't go trying to look through your book that you never looked, that's been collecting dust, that's been all with that information that's been sitting there for the last few years about who was running for president and stuff, and you didn't know. You missed that opportunity. So right now, the conversation is not swaying it into the green, into the purple, into the yellow, into all those other colors. Right now, it's literally looking at what we have and making that choice. We don't have time to sway. We don't have time to go say, you know what? I know what I said about Dr. Cornell. What? No. It's too late. We have what we have, and that's Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And your decision will make the difference. Do not sit there and say, I'm not going to vote. We just discussed Project 2025 to you. And if you don't vote, don't complain about what happens next. Do not complain about what happens next. What Lou Hamer did for us, okay? What all those people before us did for us. And I ain't talking about I have a dream. Even what Martin Luther King did for us to be where we at. All those people that they want to name and utilize their quotes improperly to push their fake agendas about unification. And hell no. Focus, y'all. What we have is what we have. Go make your vote. We need an opportunity to at least make change. If we put somebody in office that's going to undo everything, we will not have any opportunity to make a change. We need somewhere with some kind of room where we can make changes so that when that 4 years is up, the transition will be proper.
Right.
Whew. All right, that's my rant.
You said that.
What's that link right there, James?
No, this is a link I actually dropped in our group chat. It's from the mouth of the babies, man, that explains exactly what Rebecca just said. It breaks it down to where it makes sense. Y'all take a look.
Voting for third, y'all, I can't do it anymore. I think I'm going crazy. Stop voting for third-party candidates. They can't win, and they only make the Republicans win, and Democrats lose. I can't stress this enough. We now have a Republican Supreme Court because you guys voted third party in 2016. Is 2016 not enough proof? Because now the Donald Trump Supreme Court destroyed Roe v. Wade, destroyed affirmative action, and now we have this presidential immunity thing that stop voting third party. Seriously. Now, 2024, new year. Okay, we have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, most effective administration, American history. JoeBiden.com/accomplishments if you care to learn about what he's done, by the way. I can't stress it enough. Stop voting third party. How about this? I'll make a deal. Vote third party in 2028. Do it. But 2024 is too important. Project 2025, everything is on the line. Just please. And this is not a paid ad, by the way.
It's not a paid ad, but he got good.
You sure got Joe Biden hands on the head? No, joke. I'm joking.
Look, woo, yeah, that's what they said now. People be. We'll talk about that later. But Joe Biden, and we know who his parents will say are voting for. But with the outfit, I just don't know why they put him in there. But with the outfit, what he said, y'all, I know that I'm glad that his parents are teaching him and educating him on what's going on. You know, whether or not they gave him a script or not, it's still information that is true. It's still information that is, you need to hear it, right? Because look what our decisions that we've done this stuff. I've told y'all, remember when the same man that's going down right now, unfortunately, said vote or die? Yeah. Right? And then he turned around and told us to hold our vote last year.
Yeah.
Not last year. It was 2020.
Yeah.
Hold our vote. Right? Our vote was so important that we needed to vote or we were going to die, because if we didn't vote, we wouldn't be a part of the change. Turned around and said, hold your vote. It was all cute. I remember I was making this argument. Y'all, please, if you're not going to vote, then just look at your local and state and look at them. Make sure you're voting there. Your vote still matters. Like, let's not play games right now. Y'all, please. And they were like, no, we're going to make a change and it's going to hit Biden where it hurts. And it showed the percentage dropping. They're like, look what we did. Yeah, I get it. I understand. And that did. It shook them. It shook them. But
talking about, yes.
When for his whole stance on genocide over there in Palestine, or his partnership with Israel, people were like, in that, you know, they were.
Which vote was that? That was, I forgot what state it was where but they didn't vote. They didn't vote for Joe Biden, and it made it clear to the camp that they're gonna have to change some of their positions on genocide.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to remember the state as well, but it happened, right? Right now we're in a very tender space. We're in a very, and I hate it for us. Y'all, look at me. I'm with you on this. I hate it for us. But we got a few more months. We cannot play. We cannot play on this. We can't just sit here. We can still say, damn, Joe Biden old as hell, and fill the box out. Because when you think about it, Joe Biden old as hell, but he did get some of my, I know people, this is factual. They woke up and ain't no loans. I know people who are here, even though I don't like the whole scope of the breakdown in the policy, but I know people who came from Haiti and who are here, and we call them T-Bidens, and who are thriving. who have homes, who have jobs under the Biden program. I know people. And I don't want us to get it all like mixed up just because you got a couple of dollars on your taxes that you now owe back under Donald Trump's presidency, baby. Please.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Let's be for real. Educate yourself.
Ooh. But
Go ahead.
Because then I think about how they're using people like Sexy Red, Waka Flocka, right? Giving them
Amber Rose,
giving them whatever little chump change they're giving them, and they're using them to usher in a horrible time for Black people. There's just no way. Look, I'm concerned about everybody. Yes. That's why, I'll step up and stand up and shout on behalf of the immigrants first, because that's who they're going to come after first. So we're solidarity with everybody, but for them to use Black rappers to bring in pastors and to bring in and usher in a time that Black people are going to suffer under. How do I know this? Because out of their own mouths, they've talked about having to do something about the Black problem. Out of their own mouths, we got audio of them plotting violence against Black people on Twitter. We're not talking about, they're not organizing in little secret rooms in the back alley of a bowling alley anymore. They're doing it publicly, and they're doing it on Twitter. And what are they talking about? One, how they're going to remove 20 million immigrants. Two, how they're going to kill the LGBTQIA community. And three, how they somebody got to do something about the Black community. And it's being brought to us by people like Waka Flocka, knowing full well, if somebody just run up to Waka Flocka on the street, right? There's one of these white people he's supporting right now, just run into him randomly on the street, he'd be one of the first people they shoot because of how he looked, because of how he talked, and because of how he carry himself. But he gonna set up the entire Black community, along with Amber Rose, along with Sexy Red, whoever else is getting paid this money to be subject to the violence that these folks want to bring.
Yep. No, absolutely. Y'all not listening, man. Please. I don't want to beg. I'm scared. If I can be honest, I am. That man brought so many things that people thought they would never see. Mm-hmm. That man being Donald Trump. Under his presidency, we've seen so much. And what he is putting on paper now, what used to be in secret KKK meetings is now on a website called Project 2025.
Right.
Y'all, please, I'm begging you. Let's be for real, especially because what they're doing is they're targeting Black people so that we can get confused. It's like they're throwing something for us to be confused. And now we're all like, I don't really want to vote for, my vote won't even, don't let them do that to you. Don't let them sit up there. That's why I said, I love BT for allowing Taraji to talk about Project 2025, but let's say, why is the messaging hypocritical? Because Sexy Red shouldn't be platformed when we are pushing to acknowledge what is going on with Project 2025. Sexy Red should have never hit the stage there. Yes, she's the most popular, and this ain't political, but why did y'all let Taraji push the Project 2025? Why did y'all sit down with Kamala Harris and let her tell y'all that, girl, I be outside, if we ain't talking politics?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's be for real. The messaging, we can't sidestep here. Okay, we cannot be hypocritical with it. We know what we know. We already called the thing with Joe Biden. We can continue that work. We can have conversations about it. We can start implementing and putting plans together on the day that his transition goes into presidency for the next 4 years. We have a chance to put somebody else in after him as we start making a plan. But if Donald Trump does what he does, he is going to undo everything. Look what he did with SCOTUS.
My guy. I knew when Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the day she died, it was kind of like, I hate to be so dramatic, but it was like the sun went down, it got dark.
Yeah.
Because I knew what it meant. I knew Trump was going to appoint somebody. I knew he was going to appoint somebody before the end. And I knew that would be the end of Roe versus Wade, because it's a domino effect. And all these dominoes do go back to two things. It does go back to the 2016 election, right? The fact that we should have been able to stop Donald Trump then, right? We didn't. But it also goes back to the fact that we have a two-party system that has played around with this devil, this type of thing. Every election that comes around, they've done as little as they possibly can do for us. And then they look to us to save them, because you know what? We ain't got no choice. You're right. Okay, here we are again. Joe Biden is Joe Biden. But you know what? Right now, we have a person who is committed to destroying the federal government and leaving you and me and James and David and everyone else, leaving us completely vulnerable to whatever that redneck state governor wants to do, whether it be Ron DeSantis or whether it be Brian Kemp or whether it be the goofball over in Mississippi, whatever I can't think of his name, Tate, right? Whoever it is, they're going to leave us vulnerable to what that governor and those Republicans want to do to us. And who's going to come help us?
Who?
Can I add something there? I'm going to be relatively okay compared because
you're white.
Yeah.
Right.
If I pretend I'm not Jewish, you know, I might be okay, or relatively. I have people in my comments saying like, you might just flourish, not because I'm white. Overall, people might flourish if they stop freaking out. No, Christian white men, not Christian white people, Christian white men might flourish. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that like every 4 years when we do this, I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to stay behind the scene. I just want to put this in there though. Everyone says you said this the last election. You said that, you know, this is the election that's going to change everything. You know, we won't have to vote again. First of all, you should be voting anyway, but especially with Trumpism, this isn't going away until it's decisively beaten, until they get the message decisively at the polls that it's not winnable. Trump's never won an election in the popular vote, but he's still here, and the Republican Party is embracing him more than ever. Yeah, it's not going away if the elections continue to be close. In 2028, we're gonna. Like that kid said, no, we're still going to be facing this if this election is as close as it is, even if Trump loses, because it might be DeSantis, it might be Ted Cruz, it might be what's his name, Josh Hawley.
All of them, all those devils.
There are a bunch of Trump wannabes that will easily fill in the spot and speak better than Trump. Yeah. But still push. They'll be a Reagan. They will be a Reagan. They'll be less upsetting to you know, most people. They'll be digestible. They won't be offensive. They won't be embarrassing, and they'll be completely on board with everything Trump wants to do. So until people actually get that and are coming out against it hard enough, where they go, we're losing and we're not going to win until we, you know, it's not going to change.
Right.
I agree.
No, 100%. And that's, thank you for adding that, my white friend. And like, like to hear it from him though, but they coming at him and he's right. I know we said it before, but we didn't do right. So now we gotta be like, now we gotta backtrack. Now we gotta hold the line. We gotta keep Biden in office so that we can start doing some stuff. We have a fighting chance to do something so that we can get his behind out of there in 4 years and then get somebody else in there that makes sense, because we didn't do right. So this is a teachable lesson for us.
Well, we got. The only way I know that we're going to learn this lesson is also by taking our power from the Democratic Party. And I don't mean by us not voting. No, we sure as hell need to go and vote and get who. I don't care if it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. I don't care if it's an empty suit. I don't care if it's a blank line and says blue. I'm going to have to this time, because we got to stop Donald Trump. But that said, if we don't get our power away from the Democratic Party so we stop playing the game that they said, this is a mess that the Democratic Party made. And we're going to save them this time, because saving them is saving us. We got to be clear about that. But once we're done saving them this time, it's got to be a reckoning. We got to wreck shop with that Democratic Party, because they can't keep putting us in You can't keep putting us in a war with fascism and then look to us to save you. You can't.
No, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. It hasn't
We're
worked.
going to win every time. We're going to lose.
Every time. Like, and then people want to sit here and be like, this time is going to be just not what you rallying two people at the end of the race. Baby, we got what we got right now. So we're going to have to move forward with this. Please. You decided to wake up too late, baby. Now I'm giving you the options. You ain't got to do much. Vote. Okay? And that's it. But
Roger Harris said, I will vote for Joe Biden's pill organizer in 2024.
Listen, we not playing. I'll vote for him.
It's embarrassing, but we're voting for the people behind the president because honestly,
that's it.
It's embarrassing because it's not really that's not something to be proud of, but that's what this is coming down to. It's
but look
just
at it, but it's not embarrassing.
With the immunity, that's what it comes down to. It's just.
But here's why I don't think it's embarrassing. I think it's important that we absolutely think of it that way. It's not Donald Trump that's the threat. Donald Trump is a moron. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump is so greedy over his ego that he can't even see up from down. It's the people behind Donald Trump that is the biggest threat to democracy and humanity. Same way with Joe Biden. I'm not looking at Joe Biden. I'm looking at the people behind him. And I would rather have to fight with the people behind Joe Biden. I would rather have to negotiate with them. I would rather have to vote against them and fight with them than to have to deal with the people behind Donald Trump. The people behind Donald Trump, they want to destroy democracy. Yeah. At least the people behind Joe Biden want to keep some kind of status quo. I don't know. Whatever.
So put that comment up again. And Neon Death 07 says totally missing the point, folks. Don't want to vote this year. We know.
Yeah, that's what we talk about.
That's exactly the point. When we're telling them to vote so that we can have an opportunity to actually have lives and not live in a dictatorship. It might still be a little nasty. It might be a little messy under Biden. We might have some push and pull. Every single president has some type of blood on their hands. Is that okay? No. Yeah. But we're moving towards fixing and holding them accountable. If Donald Trump is in power, he done put so much power within other structures of his administration or anything that is around the White House, or when it comes to our justices. All of those things are now Republican, and whatever he wants to do, he's undoing, he's adding, he's looking in the past at what president did this and how he can apply it now in 2024. Immunity? We can't say there's nothing to vote for. And I understand, Neon. I get it. I'm right there with you. I remember, like, we sit here and we think about it, but it's one of those things we got to make a choice. Because if you don't, what happens next? You can't.
We're voting for democracy, literally. Like, there's no... On the international stage, folks, we're voting for the end game here. See you later, babe. Like we really, this is why I want to wring the necks of the Democratic Party, because they let this monster, this Hydra. We're dealing with Hydra. We're dealing with a MAGA Hydra that has control not only here in the United States, but on the global stage. Yeah, we're dealing with a Vladimir Putin who doesn't even take the dead bodies of his soldiers off the battlefield. The bodies of all those Russians, they're dead and rotting on the battlefield. Why? Because he doesn't care. Why does he have to care? He's a dictator. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to care about people. Yeah. That's Donald Trump's bosom buddy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the kind of world they want. So we're voting. You have a reason to vote. It ain't Joe Biden. It's democracy.
Period. Democracy. What does that mean to we know what that means to Joe Biden, allegedly. We know what that means to us 100%. But does Donald Trump know what that means? Because democracy, and then we have dictatorship. And then, so the other day, I believe it was on he made sure he started out strong for July. We over here got to pay rent. We trying to figure out if we going to work on the 4th or not. We trying to figure out a whole bunch of a slew of things. Okay. And here go Donald Trump. In a historic decision, the Supreme Court ruled on Monday that former presidents have at least some immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts in office, no matter their politics, policy, or party, but stipulated that the protection doesn't cover everything. In the Monday's decision, it says the court's 3 liberal justices said that Monday's decision reshapes the institution of the presidency and could lead to stark long-term consequences for American democracy, has been said. So what are we voting for? Democracy. And that's actually what Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote. It was interesting because she made a great statement about that. It's something to think about. And in a lot of these places, we're seeing where our democracy is being hit. Pay attention, because it's benefiting somebody and it's taking away from us. I said, we're the real people losing here, please. But the people who are benefiting from it, the fear mongering is going to be fed to them to make it seem like they're missing out on something. They're losing out on something. Okay. As this was 1776. Black man, that story wasn't for you. that wasn't for you.
Mark Robinson, 77.6 was not your story.
I couldn't, but that wasn't. Why you over here literally feeding the white folks story to them as if you was benefiting from that? My brother.
Uncle
up there,
Tom.
and your melanin was 10 shades darker than them, and you ain't even the darkest type of A, because you ain't an ER. You the A. You know, you were ER standing up there, but you literally ain't even the darkest type. But in that room, baby, I can only see the whites in their eyes.
How much they paid that man to get up there and say that? It's all about selling your soul. He sold the hell out of his soul to get up there in front of all these white people and have the nerve and the gall to say something about 1776.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so
on Beyonce internet.
On Beyonce's and on Michael Jackson's internet. We know Michael Jackson will still call himself black, even though we was like, what's going on?
Rebecca.
Them kids is white. I'm kidding. But I will say,
real white.
I'm talking about white as hell, like David White.
Them kids are white.
Don't worry about no 1 drop rule. I'm sorry.
That I don't think that's them. That man babies, but we not.
That
we
baby
not
don't look like me.
Them kids is white. They got one of them got them blue eyes that I talked about last week. Okay, but what does the ruling say? Okay, the Trump versus United States was a legally untested question that has not come before the high court until now. So it's historical. Whether a president, and you know he's gonna be walking around here saying, "No one's done it before me." We know he's gonna say this. Whether a president could be immune from criminal prosecution for official acts while in office. The president enjoys no immunity for his unofficial acts, and not everything the president does is official. The president is not above the law, and that's what Chief Justice John Roberts said in his opinion. He said the system of separated powers designed by the framers has always demanded an energetic, independent, blah, 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 blah. President, therefore, may not be prosecuted for exercising his core constitutional powers as he is entitled at a minimum to a presumptive immunity from prosecution for all of his official acts. But here's my thing. It's just a whole bunch of blah, blah to cover Donald Trump in the thing that where he knows he done partner with these people and they were like, bet, we got you covered, where he can walk around and still push that he is untouchable.
No, he will be untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
Like this makes him, and this, I'm reading a little bit of the chat, and I know we just talked about it earlier this week. We stay out of chat. Folks, when we talk, this not only gives Donald Trump the power to kill folks.
Yes.
He already killed one guy, Michael Reinhold. Look him up. He killed him back in 2020, around 2021, and got away with it. And he sent federal troops to this man's home to arrest him. And before they arrest him, they just killed him. And then Donald Trump got on television and bragged about it. Now we're talking about Donald Trump having official immunity no matter what, as long as he says and declares, and as long as one of these courts will decide this was an official act. It does not matter what Donald Trump does. He will be able to get away with it. Folks, I'm sorry. Like that is a reason for us to say, vote him and make sure he doesn't get in office. Anyway.
David,
Yeah, you could see me. I know I'm doing an unusual amount of popping in, but just to back up with memories, because we seem to have selective amnesia collectively in this country. Like, it's almost like Trump's first term didn't happen for a lot of people, which is mind-blowing. But Trump, not only were there rumors about it, former officials are on record now saying Trump wanted to shoot protesters. He wanted the military or the Capitol Police in DC to shoot protesters that were protesting towards the end of his term. We already know he wants to send the military into the city. So I mean, it's not like this is all hypothetical.
Mm-hmm. And it's not. No, this is facts. What we're talking about is yes, we can go down into our history in the last 4 years, in the last 8 years. Donald Trump's behavior, what he's left behind, what he's caused, the things that he's endorsed. This man, what he said about police officers, what he said about protesters, what he sent over to protest, all of those, how he protected police officers who gunned down Black people and got away with it. Like, all of these types of things, and the framing and the conversation surrounding the people who were murdered by police officers and treating them as if they were criminals, allowing conversations to happen for people who represented Donald Trump in some way, shape, or form, to discuss what the nails of George Floyd looked like when he was laying on the ground, dead with a knee to his neck. Let's be effing for real. And this man, Kyle Rittenhouse, is a great example of what Donald Trump can continue to push out there, especially with his immunity.
Come on. Won't even have to go to trial.
Nothing.
The worst kind of people are the people who think, oh, it's that bad now. No, the hell, it's not that bad right now. It's bad, but it can certainly get worse when you have a president who has been given official immunity from the highest court of the land, and you got thousands of white folks around here getting deputized who all believe in the white replacement theory. Now they're deputized, and they got a president who will also just pardon them. And if he gets away with it, let's say, Rebecca, you said Kyle Rittenhouse, if he happens to go to trial, they're getting off. I don't think people really understand what America, like how good, in a way, as bad as it is, how much better we had it than our ancestors who literally got killed just 100 years ago. Like Tulsa was just 100 years ago. Jim Crow wasn't even that long ago.
And they denied them the reparations once again.
Reparations. Philadelphia Move was 1985. Don't act like they won't blow up a whole block and just move on and ignore us.
Excuse me. Right here. I'm pointing in a direction somewhere around here because I'm not really sure. But when you look in my beautiful skyline, you'll see all these little different neighborhoods. But there's a couple around me that if I drive 10 minutes away, it's sundown. But there's one, and I want to say what is that county that Oprah went to? Just in 1980.
Forsyth County. Yep.
Okay. And she went over there, and that was in 1989, I want to say, or like 80 something. But it was somewhere where people were still in their 30s. It was a year where people are still in their damn 30s right now. Okay. And that happened in Georgia, state of Georgia. Georgia, we like to think of Georgia as Atlanta. Georgia surrounding itself is predominantly white. The state of Georgia is predominantly white. Okay,
very much so.
And so there are a lot of this conversation, and those people who think like that and it's conservative, whatever, that's surrounding Georgia. Outside of the little metro Atlanta area, you'll see that. Where I live right now, there are Trump signs that have been plastered all around. High magnitude. When I moved here in 2020, they were everywhere. Right now, they're back outside. Here is the thing. We got to be mindful, right? Those same counties, like the one that Oprah went into, that was just literally 30-something years ago. And right here, I think it's still predominantly white till this day because of they said they wanted no Black people moving into that county. They wanted nobody, nothing. And those are the people that support Donald Trump. Where I live right now, I had to Google before I came here because I never heard about this place. And it's old white money. that lives out here, but it was very affordable than living in the city. And I said I had to make a choice. So I chose here. Every cop that stopped me when I first moved here, I was doing nothing in my bed and sleep. And I got knocks on my doors from cops because I was the only Black person that was living in these unfinished buildings in this whole community. The only Black person at the time. Well, going down to a winery about 20 minutes away from my home, they give the what you doing around here, boy. It gives you, make sure you don't let that sun touch the tip of your car.
That's terrible.
You need to get the hell out of here. Then Trump signs every single place, every single where. The fear that this community puts in. I remember a Black dad and a daughter, the only Black people that I saw when I first moved here during the pandemic. A Black dad and his daughter were standing outside with a sign that said, Black Lives Matter. And surrounding them were people with the Trump signs, with racist symboling, all this stuff, with a Black dad and his daughter. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. That's what Donald Trump did for America. He divided us. He made it seem like Black people and Black Lives Matter was the cause of every single issue. He literally blamed the pandemic, inflation, on immigrants. But we know what he calls immigrants and specific places that immigrants come from. He wants the wall built for the Mexicans for sure. But he doesn't even think that Black immigrants need to be even, their countries don't even need to be mentioned.
Oh, no, at all.
Shithole countries is what he called them. And, sorry, Bubba, you said you have to get out of here. Love you.
I got to jump off. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Okay, y'all hit me up, okay? Love y'all.
Love you. We'll be out of here soon, but we got to talk about this point of it. This man under Donald Trump, this is what he has caused. Division in communities, division in the workplace, the removal, the how he pushed people in tech like Elon Musk out of pure racism, prejudice, nastiness, pushing out false rhetoric and wanting that to be under the guise of free speech. Because he didn't get a chance to say what he wanted to say. And the people online were saying mean things to him. He went and undid all of the work that Twitter did to be diverse and inclusive. Went in there, immediately took office, purchased the company because he didn't like what people said about him on there. Purchased the damn company after this company because they, just like everything in this country. What makes it flourish are Black people. Black Twitter is what caused Twitter to even have what it has right now. So much so that the creators in the headquarters made a whole Black Twitter space for them. And as soon as Elon Musk, who holds Donald Trump's ideologies, took over, he made sure that MAGA had a space to spew out misinformation. When it came to COVID, when it came to mass murders, when it came to any police and Black person incident or a murder, all of those things, people would get on there and spew out misinformation. And now we no longer get that little tag that corrects us often enough. I'm looking at misinformation, and because it's more conservative leaning, there's not a tag that allows you to understand that this is a lie or it's misinformation.
Nah, it's a cesspool. Community notes, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the point. That was the point of him purchasing Twitter. He does have Donald Trump and Elon Musk share the same ideology. They share a white replacement theory. And this is one thing I just, for anybody who can't understand. And that's fine. You know what? Some people are not at their stage of their politics where they can process this, right? Where they can see the threat that's coming and actually appreciate it for the threat that it is. Some people still are locked into the 2016 politics and the lesser, the lesser of the two evils are still evil. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But there's fascism and then there's pluralism. Mm-hmm. There's an opportunity to have democracy. And then there is forget about democracy for the next 30, 40, 50 years. We could raise our children in environments where we don't have to worry about random mobs of deputized white grievance violent men. Okay. But then there's some people who just don't see that threat. And then there's some people who will see that threat and then decide, oh, I don't want to fight it. And I'm going to stay on that side. They'll join MAGA. They will join MAGA. So it's unfortunate that here we are, but we're really at a time where we're going to have to decide where do people stand? You're either going to fight against this or you're going to fight for it. You're just going to sit back and let it happen. Then you're no use to us. And that's fine. That's fine. But we need to really clearly understand who's going to fight, who's going to chicken out because it doesn't look good, who's going to chicken out because it's hard, who's going to chicken out because they don't want to have any confrontations. Nah, we're past that. We're past that. We can't. It didn't work in 2016. So that whole thing that we tried to push, which was, I mean, it was true. Lesser of two evils, all that. It was true. It was the most evil. It didn't work. So get your behinds over, okay? And let's start looking at what we have. Let's vote, but let's start joining together for real and doing what we need to do in those 4 years so that when that time is up, a lot of things that were undone, we can start putting them back together or making them better, okay? Because we cannot sit here and continue to, we will be, I know they kept making the jokes of we're going to rewind our clocks back, 400 years or whatever. That will be it for real. You guys think that we're just saying things. We did not have enough rage. That's right. Before. We thought, oh, this is what we got and won't be long. Look, we should have went plumb off on a couple of occasions. We should have shut this thing down on a lot of occasions, Rebecca. Mm-hmm. 2020, January 6th, all those occasions we should have seen. You're right. We were not angry enough. Ben, when we talking about mass murders in the last few years. When we literally first started this show, how many mass murders did we have to cover? How many under Donald Trump? People who were literally police officers who were covered, who got the ability to have these type of conversations outside, that they were the ones being attacked, that there was blue racism. That was a thing within police unions and NYPD. Blue racism. The fear mongering on the wrong damn side. And Donald Trump would go and literally say these things in benefit of the police officers, of the racist people, of the mass murderers. And we got people who still, I'm going to thank you for today's episode, Rebecca. It was very clear and clarifying, especially just in realizing some folks are just not ready to fight, and we can't use any energy trying to convince people who don't see this as a fight, who don't see this as a threat enough. That's fine. You know what? That's cool. You're not going to vote. That's cool. But okay, the rest of us are going to fight, and we're going to have to do it without you. And that's quite okay, because I'm trying to raise kids here. I'm trying to raise kids in this country, and everybody around us is doing everything they can to destabilize this place even worse than it already is. And yes, it can get worse. And Rebecca, you and I exactly know how bad it is right now, because we did cover it every week, every day. Every day we saw the mass shootings. Every day we saw the names of Black people who were getting killed, no justice. And then they go to trial and still don't get justice. And then they give us a little fake diversity and inclusion. And then you called it when it came out. You knew they were going to snatch it back. And now they're snatching it all back. Like when diversity and inclusion became a real thing that people were focused on because of what happened at that Starbucks, they gave that man back his money. Undoing. They were like, yeah, that whole thing. We know we shut down Starbucks and a lot of other companies were doing the same thing. And it wasn't that real. Remember when they were making everything Juneteenth? How was your Juneteenth this year? Did you see the watermelons? Did you see the kente cloths? Man. None of it. So I'm saying, like, they don't care. They don't give a damn. They do not care. So
Donald Trump will wear a kente cloth, hold the Bible wear a kente cloth and say that he supports us. Hold the Bible upside down and say that he's Christian. Go to your community and not show up, but call in on a cell phone to the black barbershop and say that he's with the black businesses, and they were all predominantly male. But this is what he does. He does not really support anything that is free thinking, forward movement, that is liberal, that is togetherness. He is going to be about division, about looking one certain kind of way, because the people around him are pulling him like a damn puppet. And he thinks that makes him powerful because they need him because he's a dumbass. And people behind him are the ones that's going to make him feel like they're going to do everything he wants, give him immunity, make him feel like he got about 10 good years left on this earth, if that, before he goes to fry in hell. And so what they're going to do is utilize him and prop him up, make him feel so big so that they can do what they're doing. We got to pay attention because it's also with the administration, who he got behind him.
You said it, Becca, pay attention. Have you noticed that there's only one type of circumstance when we actually see mass uprisings, and actually have sufficient numbers or something of sufficient numbers taking to the streets? When people have like more free time than when they usually do. For Gaza, it's mostly been college students. During the pandemic, people weren't working. So like we saw the Black Lives Matter protests that was obviously extremely diverse, but like whatever free time people do have in most circumstances, they're not there yet. Like you said, Ben, they're not ready to fight. They're not willing to give up that free time. We only see the uprisings when circumstances make it possible, where people get extra time to actually say, you know what, I'm going to use this time rather than whatever.
Why you think they made everybody go back to the office?
Well, yeah, and people need to get their act. Like people need to open their eyes, and like it's going to get worse before people decide to fight back. It's going to get levels worse before people say they're using their time instead of playing video games or watching something to join the streets. I sound like a conspiracy theorist. They want us to be watching the BET Awards, and they want us to be listening to this music and going to these concerts and focused on the video games and all that, and TikToking away. They want us to be so focused on these things and not focused on what's really going to be happening, while we're focused on everything but, right? And then you go to the store and you're like, damn, eggs is $17. Gas is such and such. My rent did go up 3 times, but my wages is still the same.
Oh Lord, yeah, we gotta pray. I'm be honest with you. Listen. I done the math on this. As a matter of fact, I gotta finish and publish this later on today. I done studied this problem.
Okay, no, it's a real problem.
We got to appeal. Like, y'all don't got to believe in God, but I'm about to appeal to heaven. And I've been appealing to heaven on my own. I've been crying to the Lord because they almost have us in checkmate. You know what I mean? They almost gotten us in a position where we can't, and it's compounded by the fact that we have a feckless, or the Democratic Party could be feckless, or they can be complicit, or they're both. I don't care. But at the end of the day, we need some help with this problem, because they are running headlong into fascism, and we have people who are too busy or too disillusioned with the Democrats, or think everything's the same, that it won't actually get worse. It's so bad now, it can't possibly get worse. Oh my God, it can get 10 times worse for us, especially those of us who live in the United States of America.
Yeah,
we are so privileged and so spoiled here. We don't really have any clue about how bad it could actually get. And that's what they want on Project 2025. They want a separate world where conservative Christian white people can live nice and peaceful lives and still go to Starbucks and still go to Chick-fil-A, while on the other side of the border, they have war zones.
Absolutely. Listen, right in my, it may not be an exact war zone, because I could even take it to Haiti and how the United States' involvement, and we can go all in that. But I'm gonna go right here up the street, right here in Atlanta. Across the street, people riding Maseratis, Rolls Royces on one side of it. Housing is ridiculous in cost. On the other side of the street, everybody that has been affected, some of the people that have been recently displaced, right there in Cop City, where the homeless reside, and they're taking that money and they're building a facility for cops to train
while they're making homelessness illegal.
This is part of Project 2025. Homelessness. They want to make it's illegal.
Supreme Court. I mean, it's anyway, we can go round and round and round, Rebecca. You know,
we can go round and round and round, and it's literally available for you online. And I ain't talking about in Twitter space, even though you can get some think pieces that may be correct. But if you want to know what's actually happening, there are credible sites that you can go and check out. And you can research. You can literally go to Project 2025 yourself, project2025.org yourself, and see what they're planning to do. Already, somebody put up and said, how can we be about politics, or how can I worry about being involved in politics when I think they said they're worried about paying their rent or something of the sort? And I understand it. I get it. So this is why we have to vote. Because you're going to be so stuck focusing on trying to pay your rent, or possibly being the next person going to jail because you couldn't pay your rent and now you were displaced. Focus, y'all.
Yeah, maybe it's a good thing you can, and we can do what we do, and we worry about paying rent. You know,
listen, because I'm right here doing that right now.
I was gonna say, like, people say that kind of stuff just because
I was two wheels in the air. Like, man, I still gotta pay the rent.
You don't know it's a working class show.
It's a working class. We got listen, and we still gotta focus. That's why somebody said, "How do we teach the kids?" They gonna put this show on. Put this show on. How do we teach them? How do we get them to understand why they should vote? Put this show on. I used to be somebody who was like, "Oh, I don't really know." Yeah, and now I have to be clear about it. I can't. This is affecting my life every single day.
That's right.
Yep, and they do bank on that, Jerry. They do bank on that. You can't fight when you're struggling. They want us to struggle so bad. They want us to be focused on going into the office. I remember, look, here I go. We got to go. But I remember during the pandemic, I was up in that office. And a lot of news was coming out. And they thought people weren't watching the news. Sitting over there, they done said, Fauci done said, get 50 people or more, get the hell out. That place had about 200 people sitting. All I heard was, Achoo! 2 of my colleagues was hospitalized and they wouldn't tell us why. They kept saying respiratory issues. Called their phones, couldn't get to them. Yeah, but I got up and I went to the window because they shut down all of our services on our cell phones. And I went to that window and I put my phone in that window and I got them little bars and I saw what was happening. I went and I stood in the middle and I said, the CDC said, and I quote, and then I went and I sent an email and I asked them what the contingency plan was. Sent that email and they got so upset. I began to pack my things and I went home because they bet on us to be ignorant, misinformed. This has always been something that corporate has done. This has always been something that the housing industry has done. This is something that the president of the United States has done on both ends. But the conservative, they bet on us being ignorant this way and feeling like our life's issues are too hard to focus on making any kind of change. But the only reason why we got here is because our ancestors were willing to be beat for change. We're willing to get stripped of what they had for change, for us to be where we're at right now. And we just sitting here on a, no, I'm about to say, we're just sitting here on a little show. This is not a little show. We're sitting here on a show. Our ancestors' wildest dreams right now. And what we're doing, we hope are seeds that are being planted that develop into something that is not Project 2025.
Yeah. Well, I gotta get to. I'm gonna get to my job. I got something I gotta finish up, and because we got a real fight on our hands, Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
You've laid it out. You've laid it out here, and I hope people listen.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Y'all, if you guys are still here, y'all already know what's up. Patreon.com/like it or not. Patreon.com/like it or not. And if you want to give to your girl in the hardship, y'all already know where to go. Becca's Voice. Becca's Voice on Cash App. Becca's Voice on Cash App. DKG87, that's our producer. Cash App as well. All the information is on the screen. Benjamin isn't taking any funds, but you can send that over to mine.
Yes,
you can send that over to mine. Becca's Voice, please. And y'all know what's up because she got to pay the rent so she can still talk politics. Amen. All right, y'all. If you're at the end of the show, that means you loved it. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe. Did you hear me? Make sure the algorithm gets a hit. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to add comment. Have the conversation. Like, share, subscribe, comment, send to your friends. We are going to start making sure that each episode that we do on this channel leading up until November is going to be pushing it forward. We got something in the works, right, Ben? Look, we got something in the works where we're going to be rallying. But no, I don't want to speak on it too soon. So
not yet.
Look, Ben saying, yeah, no, but vote.
Ben said,
Say nothing yet. We got to sign some paperwork first.
Okay, look, I say it's about to happen. We's going. Okay, my bad. No, seriously, guys, love you guys. Mean it. Please, if you can, help your girl who has a plan, but is currently unemployed. I love you guys so much. I'm heading out. I hope that you guys enjoy your weekend. Okay, and put something on the grill in honor of Juneteenth because we're gonna celebrate all year long. Love you. Mean it. Bye, y'all. Work that we're doing here is not going to stop when it comes to these type of discussions. It's going to be for us and by us here on this platform when the media is telling us to look the other way. Your support is what helps us move forward. Join patreon.com/like it or not. Help us grow.
Like it or not, y'all. 2023. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for like it or not. Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show. Yes, it's time for like it or not. Rebecca Azor. Let's start this damn show like it or not. Rebecca Azor is in the house. You know she got a funny story to tell. Talking politics, culture, or real life ish.